Hello, interwebs. It's the interwebs. Hello, everybody. I guess we need some light, don't we? 'Tis that time of the year where one needs light, even for the afternoon. Good Lord, look at, I've got like a Christopher Walken thing happening here. Now I've got the, I want to try to get my, Dilbert Boss look. All right, I've got that going. Let's look at the chat on the old YouTubers. Here we go. Can't be long tonight. Lots to do, places to be. Okay, popping out the chat. I'm going to close the rest of it. Hello, Jonathan Leeton-Hoggett. How are you, sir? A happy new year to you. Hope you've had a wonderful holiday and that all is good. Amy Sanford. Good afternoon. It is afternoon. It doesn't feel like it, though, does it? It feels very grim and gray around here. 2024 is coming in like a storm, but a really miserable storm. Pancreatitis. Happy New Year to you, too. Happy New Year to everyone. Are we done with this now? Can we stop with the happy? It's the second day. Let's move on. The holidays are over. Bon humbugs, I say. Can we just, let's talk about something else. How great 2024 is going to be. Did I mention, I guess I did mention 2024 in my little description, didn't I? Pele Snow. Hey there, how are you? Pancreatitis says, somebody looks like the hangover is still ongoing. I wish it was a hangover. Hangover would be so much more pleasant than exercise, is all I can say. Hey, Prion. Or not Prion. Dorian Pyros. I can't talk. I've been on the elliptical for 51 minutes. Jonathan Leeton-Hoggett, you were mocking me for being, my short time on the elliptical, but I've worked myself back up to 51 minutes, just so you know. It's miserable. I also even tweaked it a bit. I went up in tension for a little while there, just to make it that much more difficult and miserable for myself, and it's worked out well. Evening, afternoon, no Happy New Year's then. Good stuff, Wad Clerk. Well done. Instructions well taken. Bod humbugs. I see. It's Mr. Grumpy. It's my Mr. Grumpy mug. Of course it is. It's exactly it. I've been trying to come up with my own. I want my own line of Mr. Grumpy mugs. I want to come up with my own Mr. Men. Put them on mugs and things. Maybe I'll do Tech Bandits. You could just have different Actually, that's perfect. I'll just do Tech Bandits mugs, and everyone can have a different Tech Bandits mug that can speak to different. You can have one could be called Linux or Linus. You could have Linus, could be one of them, and you could have. Oh, actually, that'd be really fun. Actually, you could have different ones. You could have like Stargate nerds. You could have bio nerds. Oh my God, I'm totally doing this. This is genius. Oh, see, 2024 already. Brilliant. Oh, that what a great way to raise some money for Tech Bandits. I'll do some like Mr. Men type mugs, but do them all about different Tech Bandits and different nerd things that we're into and stuff. And I could, me and my AI artists can figure out what the hell to do. Anyways, Magic Bandits. Yes, there you. Oh my God, Randy the Magic Man. There's one right there, Mandy. That's it. The Rion Pyrus. I'll buy one immediately. Okay, I'm doing it. That's fine. Done. Consider it sold. What do? I guess I should just make them and see. They don't cost anything to make really with the Shopify thing that I have, or Printify, whatever it's called. So I'll have a look and see what there is there. But yeah, I mean, God, look at that. You guys have already got me thinking, being creative. Fantastic. It really is a happy new year. Oh, my little Grinch heart. It's grown 5 times. By the way, this is my Burn&Learn. This is my bit to stay alive and fit long enough to raise my amazing son and enjoy the twilight years with my brilliant, beautiful wife, Jane, and our miserable, wretched dog who's a pain in the bottom. And speaking of pain in the bottoms, I think, is it possible I've overdone it today and I've hurt my glutamus maximus? I feel like I've done a real Rodney McKay on this one, because I feel like I've tweaked my bottom. I've got I didn't know there was a muscle there. I didn't think I had one. I thought it was just more padding than anything else. But apparently there's something in there, because it really is. It's a bit of a nuisance, I'd have to say. It's no arrow, but it's definitely, Atari mug, Commodore mugs. Yeah. What I got to do though, Flaxvert, who's still teasing me about not going to that thing, is I got to come up with I'll have to have a Commodore Bandit. I think what I'll try to do is have them all, frame them all. Maybe they're all going to be raccoons or something, or maybe I guess I could branch out into other animals. But maybe they're just all trash bandits that I turn into Tech Bandit. This is a great idea. This is a really, really good idea, actually, I got to say. All right. The Twitch stream is the very best place for medical advice. You know it, Junior Flip. It's where I go straight to YouTube to find out what's wrong with me. Why go to a doctor when there's perfectly good teenagers out there telling me how I can heal myself with the powers of magnets? You have had a great burn and learn. I hope I have. Thank you very much, Moto. I really have. I guess those ellipticals could be a pain in the ass. No kidding. Wood Clerk was much nicer and put a little star on it, so it wasn't quite so nice. Been watching Atlantis Inferno. Great episode. Fantastic. Good for you. 51. Well, oh, thank you, John. I've impressed Jonathan Leeton Hoggett. That's not an easy thing to do. 51. Yeah, 51 minutes. But as I say, I bumped. Normally I do tension of 5. I bumped it up to 6 for a little bit. I think that might have been too much. Now, I cannot talk for long. I cannot tell a lie. I cannot talk for long because I'm going out for dinner with one of my oldest and probably one of the most brilliant friends I've ever had, and I'm very, very much looking forward to it. I'm going to go see Vincenzo for dinner tonight, and because we just haven't had a chance to catch up just one-on-one for a while, and I'm dying to talk movies and catch up with life stuff with him, so I'm really looking forward to that. But I don't think I should show up like this, otherwise they probably won't let me in the restaurant, so I will have to go and shower and stuff. So I will tap this. I will have to sort of tap out here at around. When will I have to tap out? Probably like around latest possible will be at 1:45. That's the latest I can possibly continue this. Now let me talk about my learn part before I dive into all everyone's wonderful world. God, I really love those Tech Bandits ideas though. That really is genius. But I'm not sharing commissions. Forget it. So the learn part of the Burn and Learn is this Song of the Cell. I'm absolutely enthralled now. Like I very much enjoyed the Memory of Madness, the story about the guy who discovered prions. But this guy's wonderful. Like this stuff. I mean, I think I feel like the way he's presenting this data is wonderful, and he's got wonderful sort of stories about stuff. I mean, some poor science doctor nerd type trying to convince doctors to wash their hands before they did procedures, because the mortality rate with the midwives who did wash their hands in the other operating room and the doctors it was this ridiculously high death rate. I mean, he literally talks about them doing, using probes that were covered in whatever they'd just probed and then just picking it up and putting it into a different body and stuff to try. It just horrendous stuff. And also the fact that, that last, what's it called? Is it a phylum? The last what is it? It's bacteria, eukaryotes, and archaea, I believe it is archaea. I never say it right. I never say anything right. So the idea that was really only properly established in biology, like in the 70s, something like that. I mean, it was just like this crazy new kind of part to it. A shower, it's not worth it. Oh, I saw that. They hated him. What was that? Pitch the bandit mug idea at dinner. There you go. I don't have to pitch it to Vincenzo. I'll just give it to one of him. I'll give him like a film one for Christmas. Actually, there you go. I could do a film one. I could do a writing one. This. Oh my God, this is genius. This is genius. I'm loving it. James Gertie, if you are enjoying the book that much, you might enjoy Life, an Unauthorized Biography. Richard Forty oh my God, Onoxus Draconis, you've done it again. Onoxus Draconis has just done a whole bunch of gifting tier subs, which is just lovely. You did this yesterday as well. But it's a very expensive habit to get into. James Gertie, so if you're enjoying the book that much, you might enjoy Life, an Unauthorized Biography by Richard Forty, or Power, Sex, and Suicide. Wow, that sounds crazy. All right, well, I will most definitely check that out. By Nick Lane. Okay, well, I gotta get through this one first. I've got 14 hours on this one. It's a huge long book, but I'm very much looking forward to that. I have also on the side, my little side hustle reading has been this book, not the history of horror. It's called Behind the Horror, I think it is. I have to look it up. I don't have my phone. God, of course I don't have my phone with me. It's a book about the real life inspiration, if you want to call it that, for all these horrific characters on screen. It started with M for murder. Oh man, it is like brutal, just horrendous stories. But I'm sort of horribly enjoying them, if that makes sense. Der Alt Trekkie, how are you? And Happy New Year to you too. I hope your New Year's Eve, I hope your New Year's Eve was fantastic, and New Year's Day was also amazing. Yeah, I had a wonderful time. It was very, very low key. Didn't do much at all. I did exercise the last day of 2023, and I've exercised the second day of 2024. So there you go. It's not bad. Hello from Kitchener, Ontario. Finally white with snow. Well, we've got a salt and pepper of snow, a little tiny little bit, just to make us feel slightly more Christmassy. But the problem is, now that Christmas and New Year's is over, I don't want the freaking snow. Bring on spring, I say. I don't want this horrible gray, cold, miserableness that I know is going to occur now, because it's January and February in Toronto is just awful. March is much better, and then April just sort of tries to cheer you up and then smacks you with another storm. Oh, it's miserable. Anyways, thanks again, Onyxus. That's Onyxus Draconis. That's very, very kind of you. Wow, this was my day. With shoveling snow at work, was almost done. Then the shovel broke to tiny little bits. A frigging steel shovel. Really? You don't even know your own strengths. 4 hours. What? 4 hours? Draconis again? Oh my God. Holy, seriously? Dude, or whoever you are, you're far too kind. Thank you. Go easy. There's a whole year ahead of you. Save your money. 4 hours after that, I started my drive home. The car seized, engine failure due to the cold, -24, -11.2 Fahrenheit. God, had to wait for tow truck for 2 hours. Well, watched Halloween Kills while waiting for that, so it's not bad. You're a brave person to sit there in a car by yourself watching a Halloween movie. Got the rental car from the garage, started to drive home 2 kilometers. Before home, I hit a giant brown hare, and now the rental car is also broken. Oh, dear God. Zerg jerk. Just go back to bed, and I would say just start 2025, because 2024 sounds like a disaster already. Or maybe you're just getting all the disaster out of the way in the first couple of days, and the rest of it is going to be a cakewalk. That's possible, too. You never know. I'm thinking that. Let me go back to the book for a second. So the book is talking about how we have slowly, fractiously, argumentatively figured out that cells are the basis of our bodies and the way all living things seem to work, or most living things seem to work. Actually, do you count? If you count, I don't know if you count viruses or not. People are still arguing about that. But just that the idea that instead of saying like, oh, it's a malady of the kidney, you go, well, what is causing that malady of the kidney? What in the blood or in the cell at the cellular level is going wrong? And how to this day, the author, who's an oncologist, does deal with cancer, looks at unknown cases. He still quotes these folks from like the late 1800s, early 1900s about how they should look at this stuff, because we have a tendency to sort of decide, in his situation with oncology, he goes, oh, it's probably cancer, and starts looking at it as cancer sometimes before he's actually narrowed it down to that. So it's just, again, it's sort of the detective work that's required, the humility that's required. He sent one of his patients that he didn't know about to an internal specialist. I'm not sure what the terminology is for it, but an internal medicine guy, and he came back with a number of suggestions, which it had sort of like flitted across his brain, but he hadn't actually sort of followed up on. Again, this was years ago, and it's just something he's learned from, and how important it is to break these things down, like the cells themselves, down to the simplest possible solution. And also, he has this great analogy of a fishing net, that if you have a problem with your fishing net and you see that it's not hitting the surface properly, there's a bit of a bow in the net, and fish are getting out. You go to fix that bow, and then think that you think that's your issue. When reality is, if you don't continue to look deeper, you don't notice that there's a giant gash in the bottom of the net, and that is the biggest problem. It is in fact contributing to all the other stuff as well. So it's just the idea of like breaking this stuff down, and the process of discovering what is wrong with people based on their symptoms and stuff. It's just everything from this, like, he's got doctors who will smell their patients because they found that in certain cases there are things that have a scent to them that I can't imagine it's a pleasant one, but that can actually be an indicator as to what they've got wrong with them. But just this, he's got such a, I mean, he just loves this stuff. He just loves it. You can tell. It's not written particularly, exuberantly in any way. It's not. He's not sort of like cracking jokes and giggling, but you can sense his love of this stuff, and him going through the history and his real. You get this real sense of standing on the shoulder of giants, because he's he's got so much respect for the people who've come before and had to figure this stuff out on their own. And it's he talks about Pasteur, how Pasteur's work was a battle between Pasteur and this guy. Is it Locke? I think it was Locke. Something, a name like that of some sort. I'm gonna have to get the text version of this as well, so I can start highlighting some stuff, because I find that I love listening to it, and I'm fascinated by all the stories, but I'm getting a general sense of it, and there are specifics that I really like to have. So I'd like to look at that. My son has just gone to. I think he's interviewed for the job. He's going to go work for the city again. My union son, who has been working at a wading pool here in the city during the summer. He's just now got another job doing some kids camp stuff, and I'm kind of excited for him. So yes, Jim the Evo, thank you very much. The Song of the Cell by Siddhartha Mukherjee. It's absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And Jim the Evo and I will have a discussion about it at some point. Jim, we'll have to book a time where we can just do a little, like a podcast just about this book, kind of like we started chatting about the other one that we read before. I can't remember what it was. Was it Life on the Edge? I think that was the one about quantum mechanics and life. We'll have to get Dr. N, PhD, in here as well, and we'll do like a real biology nerd discussion about it. And you can teach me exactly what's going on. Doc, why are you sniffing me? Exactly. You didn't see Beckett sniffing people? There you go. That's the problem. My oldest is 15, so not something. Are you into fantasy novels? You know, Rakeen, I used to love fantasy novels. I never read them anymore. I'm almost exclusively nonfiction now that I read. I will read the odd good science fiction book in a while, every so often, or the odd sort of cyber espionage kind of thing. I do love that stuff as well. Alan Malventano, how are you, sir? I keep meaning to figuring out when I'm going to call you, but I feel like I'm still on holiday time here, and it's just I am like a reed in the wind. I am blown in whatever direction my family is taking me. And yesterday it was Godzilla -1, which was freaking awesome. I've got to say, I think it's my favorite Godzilla movie. If you can go to the theater and see Godzilla -1, I would highly recommend it. And if you can't do that, then just watch it online. But watch it with a bunch of people. It's really fun. It's not your classic Godzilla. There's a lot of like actual human drama going on there, and it's really well done. And I think it gives it a weight that it perhaps wouldn't have had otherwise. Plus, they went back to the classic Godzilla. It looks really cool, and it just has some wonderful little nods to us old folks who enjoyed, him flinging trains around and stuff like that. So there's definitely some very non-Hollywood approach to this stuff. It's all subtitled. Watch it with subtitles, way better. And I think you'll like it. I think you'll really like it. Yeah, it was just it's not the fastest moving Godzilla, because as I say, there's an awful lot of human drama in there. But that really makes it. It's great. Yeah. Yes, Miss Drizzle, that live Hewlett. Well, sort of a horrible live sweaty Hewlett. It's my post-exercise look that I've got going for you today. What do I do for exercise? I have an elliptical machine. It's the only thing I've been able to stick to. I got it a couple of years before Baz was born, so it's 18 years old now, and it is horrible. Hate every second of it, but I have a begrudging respect for it because it's the only thing that I have, and only exercise that I've ever gone back to with any kind of regularity. So my Burn&Learns consist of me hopping on this wretched torture device that is an elliptical machine. I spent a lot of money on it too. But it was Stargate money. Back when I was working on Stargate, I bought this machine. I thought I needed something I could do. I could work at home. And I've carted around since then. It's gone from California to Vancouver to Toronto, and yeah, it's been all over the place. And I hate it, absolutely hate it. But what I do like about it is that it's mindless. Unlike when I tried doing martial arts stuff or the stupid weights and yoga and all that kind of stuff, which I love. I love the idea of all those things. It's just that I feel like I'm wasting my time unless I'm learning something when I'm doing it. So the elliptical machine just allows me to tune out. My body is doing its thing badly, as the case may be, but at least I'm able to learn something while I'm doing it. So that's all I do. And I started by doing about 20, 25 minutes. I'm now up to about 50, although I feel like I'm probably overdoing it a little bit. I should probably be 45 minutes is probably what I should settle at, but we'll see what happens. David, we're old. Yeah, you're right, Ms. Drizzle. So true. No, oh my God, he's not allowed to be that old. Holy shit, I remember when you announced Jane's pregnancy. Oh my God, do you really, Ms. Drizzle? So do I, for that matter. Yeah, he is 16. He's 16 now. Fabulous kid. Love him. He's just amazing. I can't believe. I thought at 16 you're supposed to hate each other and not get along. Frankly, I'm really depressed that he's got to go back to school. I'm like, forget school. Let's just drop out of school. We'll just hang out. We're having too much fun as it is, anyways. Watching The Office and watching soccer games, and he's even got me into soccer. Like, who ever thought this Hewlett, this non-soccery, exercise-hating Hewlett would be into soccer? But yep, he's got me. The kids converted me to it. So how are we doing for time? 37. Okay, so I'll be wrapping up soon. 16 already. God, we are getting old. Yes, come join me. Get old with Hewlett. That's what I should call it. Forget Burn and Learn. It's just called Decay Away. That'll be my thing. I'm going to buy the movie on Blu-ray. Was Godzilla -1 something like the Shin Godzilla? I haven't seen the Shin Godzilla. The Shin stuff tends to be a bit more. I think it's probably. I don't know. The Shin stuff tends to be that I've seen, like Shin Ultraman and stuff. Seems to be more almost retro, if that makes sense. This is very much a modern film. It has some nods to the older stuff, but it feels a little more based in reality. Whereas the Shin ones feel a bit sort of more stagey, if that makes sense, usually. But I have not seen Shin Godzilla. Let me know if I need to see that, because I will certainly do that. Got to get on the GTA 5. What is that? Time for David to get in on GTA 5. What is that? What's that about? What am I getting in on? What do I need to get? Let's Get Magnetic says, love from New York City. Woohoo! Oh, what a fabulous city. New York City. Fantastic. Well, hello to you. Wife and I love you, Rodney McKay. Well, please send your wife all my love, and you can tell her that she does have fabulous taste in sci-fi celebrities. It's a very brilliant. It's generally so nice you have a great relationship, isn't it? I know. Look, I think he has a list of things that embarrass him. Like, he'll list off the things that I embarrass him by saying at parties and stuff. But that said, I feel that's sort of part of my job, anyways, isn't it? Ultra Trekker tried to do some sports on an indoor bicycle. It's boring somehow. That's the key, though. The only way to exercise for me is, first off, it has to be impossible not to do. If I can't make it from here, the 100 steps to the garage, there's 100 steps, if that, 50 steps to the garage, and exercise, then you know what? Just inflate me like a balloon, and I give up. So I have to do that. And so I make it as easy as possible. If it was a gym, I'd have excuses not to go. If it was a class, I'd have excuses not to go. There is no excuse for me not to do this. Any time of the day or night, if I go, oh, God, I haven't exercised, there's no excuse not to go and do it. So that's really the way this works. I would love to start doing it earlier in the day. Excuse me while I drink my grumpy tea. But that's the only way to go. That's the only way I've been able to do it. And that's one of the reasons why I like this elliptical thing, is it's just like, it was a big splurge. It was something like $1,500 or something back when I bought it. But it's lasted like 18 years. I've given it a little bit of a paint. Like, I sprayed it with some cool non-rust paint, nice little flat matte gray, and it just to stop it from rusting, because it was just, because I sweat like a horrible old Stargate eclair, and left out in the heat. And it rusts all the little bits and pieces over the years. 20 years. Of course, it's gone to like 18 years. Come on. So I just went through and just sort of rubbed off all the rust and spray painted. It's done really well. It's maybe a company called, no, I get no credit for this. I did due diligence. I did all of my studying as to what the machine should be and what the best ones were that were out there at the time. This Smooth Fitness one kept coming up. So I got this Smooth Fitness elliptical machine, and it weighs an absolute ton. It probably weighs more than just about everything else I own together. But it's great. Maybe not as much as the Drobo, my Meredith Drobo. The hard drive system just weighs a freaking ton, because it's got 8 different hard drives in it. So, all right, it's getting close. 41. I'm getting really nervous about I cannot be late, because I get so little time with this guy. Anyways, enjoy your dinner. Say hi to Vincenzo for me. Maybe pitch him the new Cube movie idea. Worth is the brains behind it all. Yes, there you go. 18 years without breaking. May I ask the brand? Yeah, it was this Smooth Fitness. But like I say, it was expensive. At the time, it was expensive. I think it was like $1,500, $1,600, something like that. So it's not not your sort of like fold up one that you put in the living room. It also, as I say, it weighs a lot. Like there were definitely some houses we lived in, like some of the temporary stuff we lived in, that I was really nervous about putting it on certain floors because I thought this is going to go through. Like it weighs so much. I'm thinking about getting some really nice like gold paint or something though for it, or neon pink or something, or neon. I don't know, just to like spruce it up a bit because it sits in the garage. It looks like a torture device. It really does. You know, I fear I'm one of the only persons who actually liked the Emmerich Godzilla. There were elements. I mean, they're all Trekkie. There were definitely elements of it. You know, maybe it's that German connection. You know, maybe that's what it is. Have a great evening, David, and to you too, Tammy Paquin. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful holidays, New Year's, all the rest of it. Hopefully you spent it all with your fabulous family and that you enjoyed yourself. Just stopped by to say hi. Well, hello, Rob Pauza. Thank you. I forgive you for blowing up that. It was a part of a solar system. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. William, I just watched Sweden versus Switzerland quarterfinal game of the under-20 ice hockey tournament. Wow. No joy in Canada. They lost to Czechia for 3-2. Oh, really? Did they? I got to say, hockey is not something I've got into. I probably should as a true Canadian, as a real Canadian. I'm supposed to probably be into that, but the kid's into soccer, so that's really worked for me. Or sorry, football, as I should say. Oh, the same pink as your future tractor. Exactly, Tammy Paquin. A pink tractor called Pig and a pig called Tractor. That's my goal. That won't be confusing at all. Live long and prosper, David. Have a great day, a great week until you geek again. To Ultra Trekkie, to you too. Thank you very much. I wish all my fellow chat folk a peaceful and uneventful, the bad kind, 2024. Yeah, no kidding, huh? A peaceful being a big one. I mean, peace would be very nice this year. Let's hope we can figure some of that out. Although that does not seem, we got an election in the States coming up, an election in England coming up. Boy, oh boy, we got a lot of stuff. There is a lot of misinformation ready to go floating around, especially once you got some AI building that. Oh my God, there's so much stuff to talk about. Been working on my email of awesomeness, hoping that will be out in the next day or two. Some really fun stuff. Some of it contributed by you, I might add. I've been sort of looking through the Discord to see what people are chatting about, and they've got a couple of emails from people who were very kind enough to share their favorite stories with me. And yeah, it's kind of fun. It's really, I'm as always, just enjoying my hammering away on that stuff. And then of course now I got to figure out how to make my Tech Bandits mugs. I'm so excited about that. I think it's just like such a good idea. All right, now I got to go. I got to shower. I will say, be brave, be kind, be brilliant, and until we geek again, I will say cheerio and huzzah! Oh, and if you don't mind, go check out techbandits.org. Sign up for the email of awesomeness if you want to get on that newsletter, the next one that comes out this week. So, all the best, folks. Talk to you soon. When next we exercise, well, or talk to Lance, one of the two. We'll see. Whenever I'm next on, I'm sure I'll let you know by just going live. But absolutely no warning at all. All right, see y'all.